What's going on, everybody? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here, the cornerman underscore MMA. We're going to circle back a little bit on something I said in the video I posted on Sunday. I said how I felt something was a poor coaching decision by one of the cornermen in the fight. Uh, let me get into that a little bit deeper. So, I take note on a lot what the cornermen say, especially at the UFC level, for multiple reasons. I was a coach myself. I cornered many professional fighters. I ran the amateur program at American Top Team. I like seeing what different people do, for my own reference. But of course, there's things that I notice that turn into pet peeves of mine, and some things I think are just not beneficial to the fighter in general. And that is one of the things I saw this weekend about poor corner advice. So now, this particular subject is, I only noticed it so well because I made this mistake early on when I was coaching and cornering. And it always stuck with me how bad of a mistake it was that I made. Luckily for me, I made it in a practice setting. So I remember we're at American Top Team. Um, the jiu-jitsu, one of the main coaches there, Marcus Pahumpa Dumata, is he couldn't make an event. He couldn't make a fight, and I was being sent in his place. So I was coaching with him uh, through the sparring session. Game plan was for the fighter to be on their feet. She got taken down. I said, "You got to get up." Okay, obviously, he assertively said to me, "No, that's too much instruction. You got to help her more than that. She knows she needs to get up. How does she do it? Break it down." And I was like, "Duh, of course that's the case." Looking back, it's like that was very foolish of me to say the obvious. We have these corners with us in our corner because we trust them to guide us in situations and events that we aren't seeing as fighters, the stuff that we can't take and break down. That's the equivalent of paying a nutritionist and said, "I got to lose weight, I got to get in shape." And their consultation after all that fee is, "You need to go on a diet." Yeah, no shit, we need to go on a diet. So that's kind of what I'm getting at there is, we need to be able to do a little bit more for the fighter. Now, what was said on what was said on Saturday was fighter X was getting beaten up on their feet. She gets to the corner. You need to make this a wrestling match. It's like, no fooling. Yes, we have to make this a wrestling match. You got to break it down a little bit more. How do you do that? Before the takedown, what happens? How do you set up the takedown? How are we getting there? Moving the head, punching with the opponent, slipping under punches. What do you want me to do? Level change, stuff like that. Another one I hear a lot of is when a fighter is being kept at range, the corner will say, "We need to get in the telephone booth." Now, to get into a telephone booth means we need to fight a close quarter fight with hooks, a lot of circular punches to the body and head. Okay, great. Now, how do we get there? I know I need to get there. I know I need to drive to the grocery store, but I don't know how to get there. You're out of milk. Go to Target. Where is it? Stuff like that. So you have to respect that, especially if you're in her corner or the fighter's corner. You've been with them this whole training camp. You should assume that they know what the telephone booth is, what the takedown is, but you got to help and see what their opponent is presenting for them to work off of to get to their point of attack. So that's kind of what I mean when I see that stuff. When I think it's poor. It's just, and now granted, you do have to understand something. I understand we have this 10-second window to get the point across to our fighters. The fighter has the 10-second window when they're tired, exhausted, ultimately frustrated on how to take in that information you're giving them. 10, 15 seconds, yeah, it's a minute, but by the time they get back there, by the time you get out, it's really like 35, 40 seconds. So one thing I like to do is analogies. Dia Davis is great with analogies. One thing is to get you to move in the head. I need to see the snake charmer. I need to see the snake charmer. A lot of things I do, like don't let them beat you with double legs. Make them shoot single legs on you. They just little, like just tiny little excerpts that they could take with them as to that are illustrated in their mind, that are easy to take in and go into the fight with. You don't only have so much time, especially with a frustrated fighter, to really nitpick. That's why we talk about this stuff. That's why you try to get that point across before, during, and after the sparring sessions leading up to the fight. So that's why I think it's so important to have that connection with your fighter. I was never a fighter I was never a coach that yelled at my fighters. I would get, you need to show more urgency here, man. You're not seeing, like, stuff like that. Yeah. Fight for underhooks. Don't let him flatten you out. And so like, that's another thing is if there's like a wrestler laying on top of a fighter, He's flattening you out. Don't stay flat. How do they do that? I need to see that underhook. I need to get the underhook and work to your side. Stuff like that. You got to do the steps. Break it down for the fighter. So that's all I meant by that. I think it's something that's very important for corners as I see forward, going forward. I really look forward to seeing a lot of other stuff, a lot of great corner advice. Actually, I really like Sean Strickland's corner in his fight with Jaron Kennedy here. They were up front with him. They let him know we're not sure who's winning. Just keep doing this. Keep looking for that. Establish the jab. How do you establish, stuff like that. That's the stuff that I like to see. I like when I see corners win that chess match. It reminds me of an offensive coordinator. Dean Thomas is great at it. Obviously, that's why they have him mic'd up at the UFC. Like I like seeing coaches try to get through the maze. Like I said, win the chess match, make the tweaks. That's what I get off on the sport now. Anyway, that's what I got, guys. I hope you liked it. Talk to you later. Bye.